Top story, President Biden is voicing concerns about the Israel-Palestine war, despite Israeli bombs generously providing Palestinians with the raw, singed material to rebuild their destroyed homes. President Biden told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on a phone call Wednesday that he expected a significant de-escalation today on a path to a ceasefire. Nothing stops a rabid expansionist with an election to lose, like an old man lecturing about expectations. Biden's response comes amid growing criticism from wacky anti-death Democrats. Here's Missouri Democratic Congresswoman Cori Bush making a bold argument that two things that are the same are the same.
We are anti-war, we are anti-occupation, and we are anti-apartheid, period. Until all our children are safe, we will continue to fight for our rights in Palestine and in Ferguson. We stand with you in solidarity.
Dr. Kendi, I was ready to come out guns blazing for Israel, but I got dragged in my editorial meeting, took a few hard croissants off the gel dome. Apparently, they look like me is not good enough reason to defend Israel. What are your thoughts?
Well, I know that for me, when I'm subjected to police violence, typically, and I see other Black people who are subjected to police violence, what do they say? Oh, this was self-defense. And in many ways, of course, you have Israel that's bombing bookstores and bombing children and claiming it's self-defense.
Now, we wouldn't want to be accused of being biased, so let's not ignore the reality on both sides of this conflict. Here are 4 photos of Gaza and 4 photos of Tel Aviv. Really anyone's guess which is which here.
Now, I gotta say, I am getting chills. It is so incredible to see the conversation around the occupation of Palestine changing, because it finally means it's okay for me to speak on it without risking anything.
Coward.
In Netanyahu's defense, it's a considerate thing to wipe out an entire family all at once. That way, there's no messy survivor's guilt.
Now, if I may, I just want to take a moment here to welcome Dr. Kendi, the youngest National Book Award winner ever. Some of us academics like to let our ideas ruminate and mature, but who says that's the only way?
Be nice, Dr. Bloom. This guy might be able to get us into model parties. Now, the investigation into whether Donald Trump will be held criminally liable for the actions of Donald Trump deepened with an announcement from the New York Attorney General's office stating, "We have informed the Trump Organization that our investigation into the organization is no longer purely civil in nature. We are now actively investigating the Trump Organization in a criminal capacity along with the Manhattan DA. Trump plans to issue a statement from Mar-a-Lago when he grabs the band leader's mic at an above-ground pool salesman's 3rd wedding." Dr. Kendi, isn't controlling a major political party from the confinement of incarceration a positive next step in criminal justice reform?
I think it could be, but I think President Trump right now, or I should say former President Trump, is wishing he was president right now and could thereby escape what's presumably may happen in New York. I think one thing that criminals have realized is that when you as a criminal can create the law, you can escape being held accountable.
With Tish James's investigation, I'm excited to announce that my defunct podcast, It's Mueller Time, is relaunching with a new title. Here comes the Tishinator. Pretty sure this one won't end with me shorting out my microphone with teardrops.
That's so wonderful to hear, Austin. Moving on to the police killing of Andrew Brown Jr., a North Carolina district attorney took a break from rewinding the footage so it looks like his car's trunk is shooting bullets at the cops to announce this.
After reviewing the investigation conducted by the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, Mr. Brown's death, while tragic, was justified because Mr. Brown's actions caused 3 deputies with the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Office to reasonably believe it was necessary to use deadly force to protect themselves and others.
Look, of course cars are deadly weapons. Do you know how many cars I've shot because the glare from the hood scared me? Dr. Kendi, do we need to have a national conversation about the 275 million militarized car-toting civilians?
I think the way that so many officers have escaped accountability through the idea that cars are lethal weapons and are threatening their lives, I mean, maybe so. Nothing can be more ridiculous than what that district attorney said in North Carolina.
Well, hey, in the cop's defense, after a car leaves your sight, there is no way to track it down again.
Now, here's the conservative argument as I understand it. Cars are deadly weapons, but the gun in the hand of Kyle Rittenhouse, that was not a deadly weapon unless it was a car.
Made sense to me. Now, for a story sending shockwaves through the political landscape, Rudy Giuliani's least appealing genetic traits made manifest, Andrew Giuliani, is threatening to run for governor of New York. He released this campaign video in which he held Times Square hostage at face point.
It's time to stand and honor the great heroes of New York. The greatest chapters of New York are yet to be written. And as your governor, let's write the greatest comeback story ever. It's time to bring back New York.
Wow, that is a huge endorsement from the out-of-focus backs of those motorcycle cops. I think we're ready to call this one. Big News projects Andrew Giuliani will be the next governor of New York. Now, despite his father, Rudy Giuliani's loyalty to the president, Trump has even stronger loyalty to the cause of making sons feel like shit. Mr. Trump made it clear to Mr. Andrew Giuliani when they saw each other at Mar-a-Lago a few weeks ago that he was leaning toward Representative Lee Zeldin of Long Island. Andrew Giuliani could still ask his father to call in a favor to Trump once the FBI finishes scrolling through his photos of divorcees and exercise pants. Dr. Kendi, what does it say about privilege in America when a corrupt, incest-curious mayor's all bone and saliva-headed son can launch a viable campaign for governor?
I think, what does it not say? I mean, I think that speaks to just how, unbelievably one person can build a campaign that's pledges to make America great again, and that presidency was just a complete disaster. And then somebody can then come along and say, I'm going to create a campaign that says I'm going to make New York great again. And, somehow, some way, some people may not think that that's going to be a disaster too.
Absolutely. And, while he didn't get the Trump endorsement, he does have his disposition. Andrew Giuliani sued Duke in 2008 for getting lost in the Duke lifestyle. The response says Giuliani's conduct, including breaking a club, gunning the engine of his car, throwing an apple at the face of a former teammate, and being disrespectful to a trainer, would have merited a dismissal, which was unrelated to his golfing ability. Hey, if the Duke golf team thinks he's an asshole, there is a chance he's one of the nicest people on the planet.
Austin, how did the world not just come together and put you in the Duke golf team?
Oh, yeah. I saw all those clubs and I was like, I don't need to be part of some club.
I just want to sit in that silence for a beat as everyone just kind of slowly died inside.